Thank you, Ms. Hogan, for being here, Mr. Hayes and Mr. Anoush. Isn't it usual that a business knows the requirements? In this case, CBSA would include in the definitive version of the procurement proposal. Is it customary practice that the contractor tells an agency what to do? No.
No.
Our observation
Not at
is
all.
that GC Strategies was involved in setting the requirements of a competitive contract. And this, in my opinion, should not have happened. The Canadian Border Services Agency gave a competitive edge to a potential supplier, and it is only GC Strategies that actually met the requirements. The requirements were very restrictive and limited competition, in my opinion. So in regard to those very restrictive requirements, and notably in terms of the experience of the human resources, if my memory serves well, a requirement of 10 years of experience. And then we see later in the report that there were tasks that required 10 years of experience, but which were actually not carried out by individuals that had that 10 years of experience. So what kind of problems can this give rise to in terms of the quality of the work and requirements and so forth? I would expect that requirements when it comes to the skills of the individuals who are going to work on a contract be very clear and be spelled out in the contract or in the task authorization or job description. And we noted that in many cases these requirements were not clear in the contract, nor was there any documentation required to explain why the agency resorted to individuals with 10 years experience or more. So it's normally to get the best value for services rendered for the price paid. All of the resources need 10 years experience or more, but then we saw situations where it was not the case. So I would have expected that the government question why those resources did the work and why the price was so high. So if I've understood correctly, for a contractor who does only the hiring of resources, because that's all that GC Strategies did, says, okay, my resources are going to cost $15,000 a day, and I have a 30% commission, then it would be, advantageous to get higher skilled resources. I mean, if they're suggesting higher skilled resources, the total amount they are going to get is going to be a bigger amount. In this case, it was CBSA that asked that resources have 10 years or more experience.
That's a problem. That's a problem. So this doesn't just put all of the blame on GC Strategies, as we knew, right? So what she's saying is for these contractors in this experience and in the matrix, it was CBSA that said, no, everyone has to have 10 years. Everybody. Well, here's the thing. The justification from Mindone and Cameron McDonald and Utano and everybody else and the Liberals was this was a tumultuous time. Things were moving really, really fast, and we just had to get this built. Why would you care? Why would you care what experience people had if your justification is we have to get this built quickly? Why would you care? Right? And the answer is you probably wouldn't. You just want to get this thing built. So that doesn't fly. So the only reason that the CBSA equals Cameron McDonald and Tony Utano and potentially Mindone is there's something shady going on. Billing for a resource for 10 years experience, but only actually getting work back from a resource with 5 years experience. GC Strategies pockets the entire 30% of that bill for that resource with 10 years experience, and then potentially pocketing, oh, you know what? I think I know exactly what happened here.
What's that? Tell us.
Just clued in. I think I know exactly what happened. Holy shit, everybody. Holy.
Oh man, he whipped his glasses off. I know you guys can't see it, but he like threw them on the desk.
Okay, this is just a theory. I think I know what happened. Okay, so it's advantageous to GC Strategies to have the highest costing resources on this project, right? Because they're going to get the 30% commission.
Right.
So let's just say $1 million, right? So the resources, they cost $1 million. GC Strategies gets 30%. How much is that?
300 G's.
300,000. Okay. Now, they go out and bring back resources that only have, half the required experience. So they would only cost $500,000, right? The remaining $200,000, that goes to Cameron McDonald and Tony Utano.
Oh, that's plausible.
GC Strategies gets the 30% on the books. And everybody else at CBSA who's involved with this, they get the difference of what those resources should have received.
Wow. I bet that's the scheme.
And this isn't the first contract with GC Strategies.
No.
This is exactly what happened here.
How long have they been doing this to us? How long have they been ripping off taxpayers?
Since 2015.
Ugh.
That's when GC Strategies formed and started doing business with this government. I think that's the real story here.
Wow, I bet it is.
And it's not just ArriveCan, right? It's everything. It's everything. Wow. That's just a theory, folks, but
It seems extremely plausible.
that's the only reason I can think that Cameron McDonald and CBSA saying, no, we need everyone of 10 years experience. Only GC Strategies gets it. GC Strategies gets their 30%, and the CBSA gets the difference on everything else. Jesus.
Wow.
All right, for all you new people, are you glad you came to Northern Perspective?